Hello, hello.
Hello,
Hi, can you introduce yourself?
my name is Mick Hunt. I am the host of the Mick Unplugged podcast.
I saw you had a little swag going on.
Always in brand, especially when I travel. You never know when a new listener is going to come from.
The t-shirt is the new business card. So you said that you never know where a new listener is going to come from. How many folks do you think you've turned onto your show just one by one in person indoctrination?
Wow. I have no idea what the number is, but I'll tell you the coolest moment I had was I was at an airport in Charlotte and a lady walks up to me and says, "You're Mick from Mick Unplugged." And I'm like, "How do you know?" But she said, "When you talk about your because, that resonates with me." And so now my bridge games, we listen to your podcast. Coolest
Oh,
moment ever.
soundtracking the Bridge Games of America. This is your calling.
I'm there for it. I am there for it.
You've had a wild week, a wild few weeks. There was just a big article in Fortune. I was doing a little homework research before hopping on the phone with you. The quote reads, he tells Gen Z they just need a phone to copy him.
Yeah.
Say more.
When I started podcasting, I thought I had to be perfect.
Hmm.
I thought I needed the perfect audio, I needed the perfect video setup, the perfect editing. And I spent more time and energy trying to be perfect than if I would have just made sure that all I cared about was the message.
Yeah.
I would have saved myself a lot of time and money. And so I tell all folks that are getting into podcasting, start as simple as possible with the equipment, but put all your energy, time, and effort in valuable conversations. Or if you're doing a solo podcast, that you have a valuable message that people need to hear.
What do you love about the podcast medium? What draws you to it?
That it's totally you, and every podcast can be your own. Like for all the
Mm.
creators out there, your show can be your show, right? If you want to have a 10-minute show, have a 10-minute show. If you want
Mm.
to have a 3 hour show, have a 3 hour show. If you want to talk about whatever subject matter you want to, the creative space that podcasting is and the voice that it allows you to be is surreal. And I'm prime example of that. I was a boring insurance guy, right?
With shade on the insurance
I'm still
industry.
there.
We
I'm
we
still there.
love insurance.
Yes. But the space just allows you to creatively be who you are. And the sky's the limit. And again, I'm proof of that.
I saw that you recently interviewed Stacey Abrams. What was that like?
It was a bucket list for me because of what Stacey represented um, for my community, for my culture. To have someone, John Lewis, who we talked about in the podcast, stirred up good trouble,
Mhm.
right? And I think Stacey's carrying the baton of the good trouble
Who else is on your bucket list?
of people that I have not interviewed yet.
Mhm.
Magic Johnson.
All right,
Um,
Magic, if you're listening, if you're tuning in.
I'm telling you. And what Magic meant to me as a business mogul, a business icon. Magic was my mentor when I didn't have a mentor because
Hmm.
of who he was as the business leader. So Magic Johnson, Denzel Washington. I think it would be
Also,
so
Denzel, if you're
freaking cool.
listening.
And then the GOAT. I'm a Tar Heel. I'm a UNC grad, Michael Jordan. Only because he doesn't do podcasts. I shouldn't say that he doesn't do. He hasn't done a podcast yet. So I want to be on that list. So MJ 2 3, if you're listening, Tar Heel to Tar Heel. Let's do it.
I love it. You interview what would be called highly successful people. What are some of the things that you have noticed across now many, many interviews about the people you speak with?
That regardless of the accolades, regardless of where they are now, every single person, successful, known, unknown, they all have overcome something. And
Hmm.
and to get to where they are, they persevere.
If that's a common trait among highly successful people, having overcome something, what does that say? What lies underneath that?
They never quit. And I think that's a common thing of successful people is success is just on the other side. Right when you want to give up, right when
Mhm.
you think you failed for the last time, which every successful person I know has also failed, right? But they keep going and they keep trying to figure it out and they have the right support system. To me, those things are very, very, very key. I mean, same thing with podcasting, right? Like a lot of podcasters give up, right? How many people have started a podcast that don't continue? But
Mhm.
I think every successful person just keeps going.
Classic question. What is one, you could call it a piece of advice, but one thing that you wished you knew about podcasting when you started out?
There's so much because I feel like I'm still learning. But if I would have known when I started, this is going to sound superficial, but it's not superficial. Having quality guests matters. And I don't mean popular guests or anything like that, but I think, Jemma, you're going to understand what I'm saying. A lot of people haven't been interviewed before. So understanding that having quality guests is critically important when you have an interview show like I do.
We talk about in the industry as like someone who's like a quote good talker, right? But there's also the opposite side, which is people who take up all the airtime and all the bandwidth and, replace dialogue with monologue. And so, those are the two extremes.
Yeah.
And from my experience, both interviewing and being interviewed and listening to a crap load of podcasts over the years
Mhm.
is the best conversationalists. It's a volley, it's a back and forth. And I think that takes a certain amount of presence and actually staying as in the moment as possible with your guest, with your interviewer, depending on which seat you're occupying.
We see it on television, we hear it on radio when we know, oh, this person's doing the circuit. I try to, and I've gotten better, as I've been podcasting and interviewing. I definitely try not to have many scripted questions so that I
Mm.
can take the conversations where those first initial questions go. And once I hear the guests opening up and telling their story, asking questions about that because people do, part of being interviewed is you like talking about yourself or you like talking about stories or something that's coming up. So if I can get people in that reflective mindset, those make for great shows.
How many of the questions have I asked you today do you think were scripted?
Three.
It's like maybe like 50%. Um, Last question for you. You entered the Signal Awards this year. I am curious, what motivated you to submit your show? What kind of recognition are you looking for your work?
So I have been podcasting for 18 months now. And this is a pat on the back for Gemma and her team. I felt like Signal Awards was one of the gold standard awards, right, in our space. So for me, selfishly, it's validation. The fact that I've been here for 18 months now, the fact that, again, you being the gold standard, I feel like you show that you appreciate what I'm doing or the quality of work that I put out. And more importantly, to me, this is saying that my listeners are actually engaged and my listeners care, that we do have a thriving audience. And that's what this represents for me. The ability to show the listeners that we did it, not me, but we did it. Um, and to also show my guests that your stories are mattering, your stories are reaching. And so for me, again, Signal Awards being the gold standard for me and validation that we're doing the right thing with the theme of the show that we have.
Very cool. Congratulations. 18 months. It's a great benchmark. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
on this podcast. Thank
There
you
you
to
go.
our sponsors, Soundproof Walling and uh, Mediocre Art.
Awesome.
We hope you'll tune in again next week.
Let's do it.